So that's always our number one focus, is getting a deal as fast as you can. And she hit that like crazy, and we were all so excited for her. And then that's when the lesson came.
He went into that deal review that when he brought that deal to us, that didn't even cross his mind. He's a brand new person. He hasn't reviewed deals.
It reminds me of our story a little bit, with how many months we went with nothing and how much money we spent. We still believed. We still were like, what are we doing wrong? Looking internally, not externally.
He attacked this business and he threw everything at it. And this lesson here, guys, is not going to be for everybody.
Welcome back to the episode. I'm super excited to get into this one. We're talking about 3 different stories and lessons we've learned from 3 different investors. So we're taking different investors in the space that we've known and taking the one thing, the major thing we've learned from their journey. And we're going to try to bring this back to you guys so you can learn from it as well. But I'm excited for this one, Ron.
Yeah, I think the stories and like people who have been through it, for people who are watching who maybe haven't gotten started in this, like seeing the stories, the lessons, like it's never a smooth ride to getting to successful in this business. Not rarely, like very smooth.
If it's smooth at first, it all balances out.
Yeah, there's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be some hurdles. But yeah, everyone you guys see, everyone that we have on the podcast, like there's hurdles over and over to get where they are. So there's big gaps that go in there that sometimes those are missed. I want to talk about those.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's the average person that comes in to land investing that I talk to in our community and other communities, whatever it is, I feel like they know they're willing to work. They know the return. We had the passive income one last, right?
I believe
we did passive income, I think, in the last couple weeks. And we talked about how most people coming in aren't looking for passive, and they know there's going to be hurdles. They know there's going to be ups and downs, things like that. So I think it does, in general, do a good job. But these are really cool stories, and they're all so different from each other with the lesson learned, and that's why we wanted to make it that way.
They're all applicable for sure. Like some of you guys might connect a lot with this. Some of you guys might be going through some of the hurdles that they went through at some points.
Absolutely.
Some of you guys might just be making a decision on what you want to do in this business, but let's get rolling. I'm excited for this.
So our guest today we're talking about, I'll just list them off and then we'll start with one.
Let's just start with the first one. I say
Don't
we'll start
list
with
them
the
off?
first one. I think the third one is the craziest one, honestly, when we get to that. We'll keep him for last.
Okay.
But I think
Him or her?
all three of these, yeah, exactly. All 3 of these are really, really good stories. Let's start with Shelby. Shelby is, she's got a cool story. She's just where she's come from, where she's gotten to in this business, how much like her consistency, everything like that, Dan.
Lots changed.
We probably interviewed her first on our podcast, guys. We're probably pushing 3 years, maybe 2.5 years when we first interviewed her on our podcast. She was having some success at that point. I believe she hadn't had any crazy deals. But yeah, let's get into it with Shelby, Dan. Should I just go ahead with kind of her story?
Yeah, and I think talk about, start early though, like her starting, her partnerships, things like that.
Yeah, so she was a corporate employee and she got started in this business. I don't remember what actually got her started. I think she was looking for real estate things. And she got into this business. I don't know the whole decision-making process for that. She got into this business to make some money, maybe potentially be able to quit her job. And she had extremely early success, Dan. I don't know if it was 15, like within her first 30 days, I feel like she had a $25,000 profit deal, buy for 12, sell for 30, somewhere around there. I remember it very vividly, her telling the story and like early proof of concept. Talk about that a little bit and like what does early proof of concept do for someone? And there can also be, I think, negatives to it as well.
Yeah, this was one of the few times where the early proof of concept almost died off, and because we're going to talk about what happened after that. But this was very, very quick results. Like probably one of the quickest results I've ever seen in this business from direct mail, because she was just doing direct mail first. That's really all it was back then. Yeah,
3 years ago,
3-4 years. That might have even been longer than that. But yeah, probably 3.5 years ago now she started, right? But she bought a deal, used an investor, which was her brother-in-law, right?
I believe.
And sold it like super, super fast, like in a day, cash. And she got her money in like a ridiculously short amount of time back.
Yep.
And that investor ended up becoming her business partner, right?
I believe so.
And that early proof of concept, he's like, wow, this sold so fast. Look at this. So they joined forces at first, right? And I think that in general, our goal with people coming into this space, because we know that the success goes up the earlier you get a deal. The longer you wait for a deal, it's like a bubble and you burst and you quit, right? That's how I kind of see it. But the quicker you get a deal, the longer you stay in it. In general, it correlates, right?
Yep.
So that's always our number one focus, is getting a deal as fast as you can. And she hit that like crazy, and we were all so excited for her. And then that's when the lesson came.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone listening's like, that doesn't seem like much of a lesson, I'm sure. And she was very consistent with her marketing, everything like that, and kept on sending out marketing. And before you know it, she goes another like 4, 5, 6 months without any deals.
I think it was 6 months.
6 months of consistent direct mail, 60 plus cents per mailer, like spending thousands of dollars on direct mail. She just made 20, and then she dwindles that down, and like she hadn't gotten any more deals on it. At this point in her career, I know she was working a lot on sales and trying to improve herself. She was really big on like her growth, self accountability, like not blaming the industry, not blaming the mail, not doing any of that.
Yeah, she was.
Like she was trying to make, and that's not even the lesson that we want to talk about, but that's a good point, I think, is she was trying to improve herself the entire time. I know sales was not her background, and she committed to being better at sales. 6 months, and we interviewed her, I think, right after she got this big deal. So she went 6 months. The lesson here, guys, she went 6 months with no deals. A lot of people we've seen quit after 2, 3 months of no deals. But she gets a massive, I think, multiple 6-figure deal. I think it was a buy for, I don't want to say numbers, but I think it was $200,000 to $300,000 profit.
Yeah.
Might have been closer to $300,000.
I think it was
profit.
I think the sale was like 400.
Yeah.
But it was a survey hack, right?
It was a survey hack, subdivide, and I believe the parcel actually went over 2 counties. So there's a lot of complications, I think, with the deal. I think the parcel was overlapping the county line essentially too. So there are a lot that went into the deal, but she was so consistent. I was so proud of her when she got that, and it was so deserving. I think it was close to $300,000 of profit.
Yeah, and it was more than she made in multiple years put together, I think she said. And her goal was to quit her job, and she was having a baby. I don't know at that point if she was pregnant or what, but I remember she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Like that was one of her big things. She's like, I want to get out of my job, I want to be a stay-at-home mom, and I want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars on the side, right? Yep. And that deal that she got is like, there you go, Shelby. It's coming to true. You do one of those a year, you're in a good spot.
She quit her job right away.
She quit her job right after that, yeah.
Immediately, she quit her job from that deal. She actually took time off, too, to raise her daughter, I believe. So she took off a decent amount of time. So those 6 months, Dan, like that is the lesson of Shelby's story, is imagine if she quit after month 3, month 4. She might.
What would her life look like now versus?
It's crazy. And I'm sure she thinks about it. Like she's not like ignorant to the fact that like, okay, yeah, that was, and maybe she doesn't give herself enough credit.
You only fail in this business if you quit most of the time.
100%.
It's
and
crazy.
Like she was staying consistent. She was growing herself as a salesperson, and she got that multiple $100,000 deal, was able to quit her job, take some time off.
Yeah.
And now she's a stay-at-home mom, flipping land a couple hours a day, maybe. And it's incredible. It's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, honestly, that story, it's a little bit different, but it reminds me of our story a little bit with how many months we went with nothing and how much money we spent. We still believed. We still were like, what are we doing wrong? Looking internally, not externally. That's why I think I've always resonated with her story. And it's just, especially with direct mail, guys, the upside's very high. You don't need to work that much. You send it out. You get really hot leads back. But those dry spells are more common in direct mail than anything else. Ever wondered how land investing can be the fastest path to financial freedom? I break it all down in my new book, One Lot at a Time. I'll show you exactly how to find, buy, and flip land for huge profits without dealing with houses, tenants, or any crazy renovations. It's simple. This is the book that I wish I had when I first started. If you're ready to take control of your financial future, grab a copy now. One Lot at a Time by Daniel Apke. Find it at your local bookstore or on Amazon.com.
That's a good point. I like that one. Anything else to add to Shelby's?
No, I like that. Let's move on to Logan P.
Let's go to Logan. We'll say Logan P. I think he's been on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
But really cool. He got a deal back. So, again, this is actually going to be another early-ish proof of concept. I don't know if it was first mailer or second mailer. But all these are going to have different lessons. It's not going to be like, oh, he went through a struggle and he did this for 6 months or whatever. So Logan got a deal back. I think it was a buy for $30,000, sell for 35, sell for 70, 75. And he brought it to a deal review. He's like, this would be my first deal. And I asked him on the deal review, I'm like, would you be comfortable doing a subdivide on this? I think you can make a lot more money on this deal if you go after a subdivide. And I think that was the first time he kind of thought about it. But the lesson to this, and we can get into all the details on it, is he ended up making a lot more money on this deal because he went after he ended up doing a subdivide on his first deal. The lesson with this, Dan, I think, is like just trying to make the most money on each deal, because it didn't take any longer for it. And he ended up making another $45,000 on this deal. So he took this from a buy for 35, sell for 70 to a buy for 35, a few $1,000s of survey, all those costs. And I think he sold for around 115.
That's hard to do when you're just starting.
First deal. So he called surveyors. It wasn't like, and he asked.
So he could have taken the 30K plus profit then.
Yeah.
But he held out, put improvement. And the thing is, guys, you could have 30,000 pretty much like soon. Just buy it, list it, sell it. Mm-hmm. And he made the decision. This is where the lesson is. He made the decision to put some improvements into it, to get the surveyor, to get everything organized and subdivide it, and then sell off parcels individually, which takes a lot longer. It's more risk also. It's more work. But that's where it is like someone new being open to those type of things. That's the lesson, right?
Yeah, it's being open to going after like doing deals in different ways than maybe you originally planned. Like he went into that deal review that when he brought that deal to us, that didn't even cross his mind. He's a brand new person, hasn't reviewed deals. And then I say like, Logan, have you thought about, I know this is your first deal, have you thought about potentially subdividing this? Like I think you can get a lot more money. And it was like 19, I want to say 19 acres, something like that, 17 or 19. And he split it into like 4 lots and he got his money back fast. Like it's just the mindset about attacking a deal differently than you initially planned, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one. And a lot of people in general would be scared of that.
100%. And he asked questions. Like it wasn't like, it was just like, okay, how do I do this? And he figured it out. Like he asked a couple questions, but like he just went for it. Like he learned. He wasn't like doubting himself on it.
Yeah.
He learned, he adjusted.
And he didn't target subdivides. He had a subdivide opportunity that fell into his lap from his standard marketing. I think that's important to note. And he had an open mind. He was looking for other opportunities. You put the bug in his ear, and he kind of ran with it.
Yeah, he definitely did, and it's a credit to him. Getting him on the podcast, hear him talk about that. Logan P. He was probably on a podcast 4 or 5 months ago, I'd imagine. Yeah, really cool story that he has. I don't know if he's quit his job or anything like that, but I know
he's still getting deals. He was in the call last night, bringing deals.
He brought us a deal last night.
Yeah.
I don't remember the details on it.
I'm trying to think. Yeah,
I think it was I don't know, but yeah, he's it's a credit to him. He ended up making. He had funding situation, but he ended up making $60,000 from that deal after funding and everything, and he would have made like 20 or something. So
no money out, no risk out. Someone else funded it. Profit split $60,000 in his pocket. Yep. Wow.
Yeah, it's a big, like that's a lot of marketing money. That money, and on your first deal, Dan, when you attack something like that, it allows you to scale up this business so much faster. It allows you to put more money into marketing. Maybe if you wanted to hire someone, you could hire someone. Like you can do a lot. If you can make $60,000, not everyone's going to do it, but that extra $20,000, $30,000 he made from that is huge in his business.
And that's what I just talked to a guy yesterday. He lives in Manhattan, and he just started this business recently, and he's looking to scale up. And he's an enterprise customer at Landport, or looking to become one, because he just closed his first deal, $60,000 of profit.
Wow.
Has other ones coming in, and now he's like, how can I reinvest? So he's signing up for enterprise for the data plans and upping his text volume, upping his mail volume, upping everything with it, because now he has $60,000 to play with, which is incredible. And that's what that gives you to do. That being said, you don't need a $60,000 profit first deal. No. That's a lot. Like ours was what, 10,000?
Yeah.
Shelby's was 15,000 or something, 15 for 30. Average is probably around 18 to 20.
Think about how many deals though early on that we said no, or we chose not to subdivide. Like there are so many that we could have made.
Do you remember the ones in Georgia? Some of them with literally like 2,000, 3,000 feet of road frontage.
Yeah,
we still came up $100,000 on that.
Yeah, there were 2
40
parcels.
acres.
Yeah, there were 2 of them. There's a 60 and then like
it was
40.
a pond on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we didn't have back then though. When we first started doing this, people weren't talking like it wasn't a thing. No. It was barely a thing to be flipping on the East Coast anywhere. Georgia was not a thing. Tennessee, like all these places haven't been touched. And then we get these deals back with 3,000 feet of road frontage. We don't even look at it like a subdivide. I've never even heard of minor subdivides at that point.
66 acres, and we could have made a lot more money.
And flat. Someone was canoeing down the creek.
Yeah.
It was a big creek. Someone was canoeing down it when we were taking pictures.
Were they?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Wow. Yeah. Thinking back about that, about that stuff. Credit to Logan for going after that deal. The lesson there is attack deals, guys. Try to make more money on deals if you can. It's not always going to make sense. Being open-minded, like Dan said. Getting on to Mr. Landon Blue. Landon has been doing this business.
This is a wild one.
He's been doing this business for probably 2 years. It feels that you talk to him, it feels like he's been doing this business for 20 years. You know what I mean? Like the amount of marketing he sends out, the amount of experience, how much and that's what he did with everything getting into this business. Like he attacked this business and he threw everything at it. And this lesson here, guys, is not going to be for everybody. I want to be very clear, Dan. Like doing what Landon did is not for everybody.
But I think the lesson can be in some. I don't think
more of a mindset.
Yeah, the mindset can be.
The mindset that he had was like he never thought.
Yeah, well, let's get into the story before the mindset.
Okay.
Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. So what Landon did, he came into this business. He came from a entrepreneurship group or something like that, and he came to us and started learning this. And what Landon did was went all in. Credit card debt, I want to say 401k. He took out money. He was in a lot of debt, like $40,000 of debt. He had 0% interest cards, stuff like that. He was using it for his mail, his texting, all his stuff. Like that's what he was using. He believed in the business fully, and just like that is the story. He made it work. It took about 6 months. But once 6 months hit, we actually had him on the podcast right around there, 6-8 months, I think. And he was probably $200,000 profit at that point, ended up quitting his job right after that podcast. But he took a lot of financial risk, I would say. But in his mind, the mindset that he has getting to that part or had was like, there's just no way. He didn't view it as risk. I remember very vividly on the podcast, he says it like, I didn't view it as risk. I thought like, this is going to work. Like I'm going to make this work. This isn't risky at all.
Right. And I remember my plane was delayed. I was supposed to come in Wednesday night or something.
Oh, you didn't make it? You weren't
and
on
I
the
didn't
podcast.
make it, but I came right after the podcast, and we went to lunch together. And I heard a story from just talking to him then and then listening to the podcast. But it was crazy because, like you said, the biggest thing people can get out of this is the mindset to win no matter what. Like, it's a proven business model. It works. What do I need to make to make that work? You know, what do I need to do to make that work? Looking internally, like you said, and just being relentless with the mind. Like it's, and that's, it can be very hard to do. And he was he was ultra aggressive with his method of doing it. But the mindset, like how I'm going to make it work. How am I going to make it work? It wasn't smooth for him either.
Yeah. And I mean, he was, I don't know if he ever got nervous, or I'm sure he did. Like, I'm sure there are nights like, oh crap, what am I doing? But like, he never came off like, this is not going to work. Like I said, like it was like, and you guys watch that episode with Landon. He's been on multiple times, maybe 3 times, honestly, on the podcast. And like, he is not like, he wouldn't come off as that demeanor, like hard nosed, like going at it. But it was just like his mindset towards it. Like, he's not a crazy aggressive person, I wouldn't say. Yeah. But he just like made this business work, texting, mailing, everything, building a team around him. And he is a 7-figure profit land investor now, 2 years removed.
And he started mailing, right? And he pivoted a lot towards texting.
I think you know more probably as far as I think he does. Definitely mailing at first. I don't know what that volume looked like, honestly. It was heavy volume, though. I think he was probably doing like 10,000 a month when he started, mailers a month. And that was very, like, you get multiple deals usually a month with that.
Yeah.
I think he's doing a high volume texting now.
Wow. Good for him.
Anything else to add to that, Dan? It's not like and he was actually, we could get into like what he was doing. Like he had a normal 9-to-5 job. I forgot about getting that. So he had a normal 9-to-5 job. I believe
he's in like finance or something.
Yeah, I believe it's finance. His wife was traveling for her job, so
traveling
they were traveling
nurse,
together.
Right?
So he was doing this remotely from a new city. Every single physical therapist.
3 months.
Every 3 months or so, he was in a new city, and I think that opened his eyes up to like, I'm doing this business fully remotely. Like he's obviously has a 9-to-5 job still, but he's doing this land business fully remotely
on the side of his 9-to-5 while traveling.
He's been to Europe. He's done so many different things after he quit his job that just like show the freedom of this business. And
he was in Europe, I think, for a lot of the summer. Yeah. And that's a lot of people. When they come in, everyone has different mission and goals and what they want, their freedom. But for him, like the traveling was a huge thing for him.
He wanted money and he wanted to be able to travel.
Yeah.
Before
he made it happen.
Yeah, before building a family, everything like that. Like he wanted to explore the world. They've been a lot of places. Hawaii. I think he went to Hawaii to celebrate quitting his job, I believe, last year.
Yeah, and he was in Europe this summer.
Yep. It's a cool story. That story, guys, is not about like traveling or anything like that. It's about the mindset he came into this business. So we have
Exactly.
3 different lessons here. And everyone has hurdles. I said that at the very beginning. Everyone has hurdles.
None of these were smooth.
Shelby's was like lesson is 6 months of no deals. And like she's sticking through that. Everyone sticks through something in this business, but she had a ton of like
You only fail if you quit. That's kind of the
100%. That's a lesson
That's
there.
the lesson there.
Going to Logan, it's attacking deals. Like it is making the most of a deal. Even though it was his first deal, he wasn't scared of doing a subdivide on his first deal. And Landon, I think it's a combination of that mindset, like just going after it full force, going into credit card debt, stuff like that.
Just
That
making it
again, I
work.
wouldn't recommend
Finding
to everybody.
ways. It's like
but yeah,
finding ways to make it work.
he had just 100% conviction towards this business and knew he was going to make it work.
Yeah.
He was the type of person that, or he is the type of person that, like, if he sees other people doing it, there's no reason he can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's tons of, we had to pick 3 for this episode, Ron.
Oh, there's hundreds.
But there's hundreds of stories, and we just picked the 3 that were like, we're just thinking of cool lessons we could bring to you. Maybe we'll do another one in the future.
And we felt confident saying these accurately too.
Yeah, because we know all these.
These are
well.
accurate stories.
Shelby's
We've
a
talked to them
coach for
multiple
us.
times.
Landon does a lot. We always are in contact with them.
Yep.
And then you got Logan P was on the podcast. So these are like stories we've followed over. Landon was a coach. Did we one-on-one coach him?
I believe he did with us. Yeah.
I think Landon did the one-on-one coaching with us, and we just followed his journey from the very beginning. Same thing as Shelby. She was one of her first one-on-one coaching, right?
Yep.
Students. It's just like we followed these so intimately over the years that these we thought could bring you a ton of value.
Yeah. No, this is an exciting one, guys. If you guys are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button below. Give these 3 amazing land investors some love. Like these are amazing stories, lessons that you guys can learn from. If you guys are watching on Spotify or Apple, share this with our friends. Share it on your social media. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.